Hello. Hi. Uh, Happy Sunday. Um, Thanks for being here. I felt like going live because I had an idea and I was going to do it yesterday, but stuff came up, so I moved it to today. So thank you for everyone who wanted to come or voted in my poll about what time would be good. I hope everyone's having a good weekend. And yeah, so to I didn't really want to go live just to go live and have a chat. I had an idea pop into my head that it would be fun to um, take one or maybe two feminist alignment tests, which kind of give you a bunch of questions that you answer to kind of see where you fall on the feminist compass, whether that be radical feminist, socialist feminist, liberal feminist, conservative feminist. There's all different kinds of metrics, and I thought it'd be fun to do live and discuss the questions and the reasons for my answers. And I put the links in the description box. I will be starting with the first one, and time permitting, I might do both, but probably just one, I think. Yeah, so the link is in the description box if you want to follow along and do your own as we go. But I'm going to share the screen so that you can see it. They exist, if you can imagine it. Okay, anyway, bear with me as I share. Okay, so I am somewhat of a noob. I don't really know what. Okay, I'm sharing my screen. I'm just going to do what I've done before. I'm going to put the chat over here so I can still see it, and you can still see my window. Can everybody see the quiz here? The openpsychometrics.org window. Please tell me if you can see it, because I am so bad at this. Okay. Is it working? Can you guys see the screen? I'm not seeing anything. Okay, thank you. It's blurry. Is it blurry? I don't know why it would be or should be. Does that help? You can even go, well, maybe not that big. You can also open, you can also open it in your own tab so you can follow along. But yeah, okay, so I'm going to be working with this one. It's the first link I posted in the description box. I've taken this thing before, probably maybe 2 years ago now, so I'll see if anything is different or yeah. So this is an interactive version of the Feminist Perspective Scale, a measure of feminist and gender attitudes. Feminism is a group of political movements broadly representing women's interests. Feminist identity has been a popular research topic in women's studies, and social psychology and a variety of different frameworks and instruments have been developed trying to organize what it means to be a feminist. The Feminist Perspective Scale, developed by Nancy M. Henley and colleagues in 1998, measures 5 types of feminism that they thought have typically been distinguished from one another in the study of feminism in the United States, as well as a generic type of anti-feminism. The scales of the FPS are liberal feminism, radical feminism, socialist feminism, cultural feminism, womanist/women of color, and conservatism. Okay, so we can start here. Okay, so is there, whoops. You guys, bear with me. Okay. So we're working with disagree, neutral, or agree here. Given the way that men are, women have a responsibility not to arouse them by their dress and actions. Disagree. Pornography Pornography exploits female sexuality and degrades all women. I definitely agree. In education and legislation to stop rape, ethnicity and race must be treated sensitively to ensure that women of color are protected equally. I wonder what this means. In education and legislation to stop rape, ethnicity and race must be treated sensitively to ensure that women of color are protected equally. Well, yes, okay. Women should not be direct participants in government because they are too emotional. This question, it seems like it should be straightforward, but it might not be so straightforward because I guess one could ask, should women be participating in the government that has been set up by men and patriarchy? Often we talk, or I talk about not wanting equality, but wanting liberation. So, yeah, I don't know. Okay, but if we're just talking about general, should women be represented in government? Of course they should. So should not be direct participants? No, I disagree. They're not too emotional to be involved in government. Whether one chooses a tradition or alternative family, oh God, I can't read. Whether one chooses a tradition or alternative family form should be a matter of personal choice. I think this is supposed to say traditional. Whether one chooses a traditional or alternative family form should be a matter of personal choice. I mean, yeah, sure. People should define their marriage and family roles in ways that make them feel most comfortable. I'm going to say disagree because the personal is political, and people often make the claim that what they choose for themselves or their family, etc., is up to them. But no, it's all got a political implication. So, okay. Sorry, bear with me here. I have a person in my life who is in the hospital right now, and somebody just texted me an update, so I'm very sorry, but bear with me. Okay. Okay, the government is responsible for making sure that all women receive an equal chance at education and employment. The government is responsible. I mean, because they're the powers that be, I would say yes, they are. Racism and sexism make double the oppression of women in the work environment. Absolutely yes. Prostitution grows out of the male culture of violence and male values of social control. Yes, it does. It also grows out of patriarchy, but yes. Capitalism and sexism are, Joan, some of these questions are fucking weird, I know. We'll see where we get. We'll just see what happens. Capitalism, remember, as I read in the intro, this was created in 1998, so quite a long time ago. Capitalism and sexism are primarily responsible for the increased divorce rate and general breakdown of families. Sexism primarily responsible for, I don't know. Replacing the word God with goddess will remind people that the deity is not male. I'm neutral on this. I don't believe in a deity. I don't care. Women of color have less legal and social service protection from being battered than white women have. I would say yes. A man's first responsibility is to obtain economic success while his wife should care for the family needs. I disagree. Men should follow women's lead in religious matters because women have a higher regard for peace than men. I'm gonna say, I disagree that I disagree, but I'm gonna say neutral just because I really don't care about religious matters. Using man to mean both men and women is one of the many ways sexist language destroys women's existences. Yeah, that's the hot button topic right now, right? Using language that erases women. So yeah, we will agree with that. Sex role stereotypes are only one symptom of the larger system of patriarchal power, which is the true source of women's subordination. Are only one symptom of the larger system, yes. Homosexuals need to be rehabilitated into normal members of society. Disagree. As your resident homosexual. The workplace is organized around men's physical, economic, and sexual oppression of women. Yes. Men's control over women forces women to be the primary caretakers of children. Yes. Making women economically dependent on men is capitalism's subtle way of encouraging heterosexual relationships. Certainly. Women of color are oppressed by white standards of beauty. Yes. The availability of adequate childcare is central to a woman's right to work outside the home. Absolutely yes. The breakdown of the traditional family structure is responsible for the evils in our society. No. Homosexuality is not a moral issue, but rather a question of liberty and freedom of expression. I guess yes. I don't really, it's just who people are. It doesn't really, whatever. A socialist restructuring of businesses and institutions is necessary for women and people of color to assume equal leadership with white men. This is a question, isn't it? Because I am for socialist restructuring of capitalism and business for sure. But again, there's that equal thing. Do women and people of color need to be equal with white men? I'll say a soft agree. Yeah, exactly. The weirdness of the question has a lot to do with how old the test is. Yeah, we're looking at this with a 24-year-old, like it's 24 years ago. We're looking at it with 2022 lens. You have to remember this is 24 years old. Maybe we will do the second test too, because I know it's definitely newer, but let's continue and finish this one. Being put on a pedestal, which white women have protested, is a luxury that women of color have not had. Yeah. Social change for sexual equality will best come about by acting through federal, state, and local governments. Social change for sexual equality will best come about by acting through federal, state, and local government. I think probably not. Putting women in positions of political power would bring about new systems of government that promote peace. Putting women in positions of political power would bring about new systems that promote peace. I guess I'll say a soft agree because probably yes, that probably would happen, but meh. Men use abortion laws and reproductive technology to control women's lives. Absolutely they do. Traditional notions of romantic love should be replaced with ideas based on feminine values of kindness and concern for all people. Sure, I'll say a soft agree. Oh, God, there's more questions. I really thought it was just one page. Okay. Romantic love supports capitalism by influencing women to romantic love supports capitalism by influencing women to place men's emotional and economic needs first. Yes, absolutely. I think Lisa and I talked about this in our last stream about how like the concept of romantic love allows men to be actualized full real human beings and women are stuck at home. So yeah. By not using sexist and violent language, we can encourage peaceful social change. I think, I mean, I'm all for not using sexist and violent language, but I don't think that encouraging people to not use that language is going to create social change, really. So I'm going to say no, or a soft disagree, I guess. Legislation is the best means to ensure a woman's choice of whether or not to have an abortion. No, because whether or not abortion is legal, women have abortions. So no, it's not. Men prevent women from becoming political leaders through their control of economic and political institutions. Sure, yep. Beauty is feeling one's womanhood through peace, caring, and nonviolence. Neutral, okay. It is a man's right and duty to maintain order in his family by whatever means necessary. Absolutely not. Women's experience in life's realities of cleaning, feeding people, caring for babies, etc., makes their vision of reality clearer than men's. Probably yes. The world is a more attractive place because women pay attention to their appearances and smiles. Disagree. The way to eliminate prostitution is to make women economically equal to men. No. This sounds very much white hetero women's 90s language. Yeah, for sure. The way to eliminate prostitution is to make women economically equal to men. Well, no, I don't think so, because again, we don't need to be equal to men, but also it's capitalism that drives the prostitution industry, if you want to call it that. So the way to eliminate prostitution is to abolish capitalism. So I'm going to soft disagree with this. But I feel like I need to say agree because of what it's really asking. Anti-gay and racist prejudice act together to make it difficult for gay male and lesbian people of color to maintain relationships. I really think I have to say neutral on this because I'm white and what the fuck do I know about the experience of people of color in relationships? I don't know. Capitalism hinders a poor woman's chance to obtain adequate prenatal medical care or an abortion. Certainly, yes. Women should try to influence legislation in order to gain the right to make their own decisions and choices. Yeah. In rape programs and workshops, not enough attention has been given to the special needs of women of color. I would say yes. Rape is best stopped by replacing the current male-oriented culture of violence with an alternative culture based on more gentle, womanly qualities. No, I mean, yeah, the wording on some of these is really annoying. Rape is best stopped by replacing the current male-oriented culture of violence with an alternative culture based on more gentle, womanly qualities. I mean, probably no, that's not the best way to stop rape. It is the capitalist system which forces women to be responsible for child care. Absolutely, yes. Marriage is a... Oh, Nina, you're in Vancouver, or you were in Vancouver? That's wonderful. I love Vancouver. Okay, sorry. Marriage is a perfect example of men's physical, economic, and sexual oppression of women. Absolutely, yes, it is. Women should not be assertive like men because men are the natural leaders on earth. Strong disagree. Romantic love brainwashes women and forms the basis of their subordination. Yeah, I'll agree with that. Discrimination in the workplace is worse for women of color than for all men and white women. Probably it is. Again, I'm a white woman. I don't know what it's like to experience discrimination in the workplace as a woman of color. So I'm going to say probably yes, it is. Bringing more women into male-dominated professions would make the professions less cutthroat and competitive. I don't think so. I think people will still be competitive. Much of the talk about power for women overlooks the need to empower people of all races and colors first. Much of the talk about power for women overlooks the need to empower people of all races and colors first. Yes-ish. Yes-ish. Women should have the freedom to sell their sexual services. Oh boy. Carolina, I didn't say that I didn't know that women of color have it worse than white women. I said, as a white woman, it's not really my place to determine that. But ultimately, I voted yes because I do think that that is likely the case. Okay. Moving on. Women should have the freedom to sell their sexual services. I think the wording is hard. Women, no, women should not be for sale. So using he for he and she is convenient and harmless to men and women. No, I disagree. We covered that a minute ago. All religion is like a drug to people and is used to pacify women and other oppressed groups. I do agree with this. I am really anti-religion. Abrahamic religion for sure. Rape is ultimately a powerful tool that keeps women in their place, subservient to and terrorized by men. Yes. Capitalism forces most women to wear feminine clothes to keep a job. In today's day and age, I think no. That might have been relevant in the 90s, but I'm going to say neutral because I don't really think it does, but certainly femininity is an expectation in some places. The tradition of Afro-American women who are strong family leaders has strengthened the Afro-American community as a whole. I mean, probably yes. Strong women make all communities make all communities better. So yeah. The personalities and behaviors of women and men in our society have developed to fit the needs of advanced capitalism. That's an interesting question. Personalities and behaviors of women and men in our society have developed to fit the needs. Probably yes. Heterosexuality is the only natural sexual preference. Absolutely not. Men need to be liberated from oppressive sex role stereotypes as much as women do. What oppressive sex role stereotypes do men have? They benefit from sex role stereotypes. So disagree, I guess. All right, let's submit and see what happens here. Oh, my sex is female. I am 33 years old. No, I don't care. Okay. Are we surprised? Radical feminist, 48. I mean, if the shoe fits, right? Let's see what happens. Oh, it just links to a Wikipedia of radical feminism. Okay. This is what I expected. Every time I've taken something like this, I'm somewhere between a radical and a socialist feminist. So I expected that, but I'm a little bit tickled that it automatically went radical feminist. It's validating. So yeah, that was the first one. I don't know if we'll do the second one. Whoops. There's the second one. What did anyone else take the test? What answers did you, or what results did you get? Yeah, I'm not surprised that it came up radical feminist. I've been a radical feminist since 2013, I think. 2013, yes. And I feel like when I came to radical feminism first back in 2013, it clicked so quickly and easily for me that as the years have gone by, I have only grown deeper and deeper and more radical, and it's been wonderful. So yeah, it's validating to have gotten that answer. Joan did. Yeah, so that was that. Anyway, should we do the next one? Should I bother? I don't know. Should we just chat? 49 for Rad Femme, 45 for Socialist. Yeah, we're so neck and neck there, Lisa, which I think I was 48, 46, and 43. Okay, let's do the next one. The link is in the description box or chat. Okay, let's do the next one. Share screen. It's a little longer, but the questions are way better. Yeah, it's much newer too, right? Like, okay, so this is the next one. Feminism test scale. We don't need to read the intro. We know what we're getting into here. Question 1. Men's rights activists and male-bashing feminists are equally tribal and regressive in their thinking. No, I disagree with that. What am I doing here? The mainstream cultural conceptions surrounding male-female dating and intercourse are constructed by the patriarchy to satisfy men's desires. Yes. The wage gap is a myth. Women already get equal pay for equal work. We already know that is absolutely not true. It drives me a little bit crazy when there's this kind of a question in something, because we know it's not true. You can't have an opinion on this question when it's just the wage gap is a real thing. Like, it really exists. It's real. It's factual. There can't be just an opinion on this. That drives me a little bit nuts. Okay. Children should be raised in as gender neutral a way as possible. I mean, what does this mean? Little girls should never wear pink and little boys should never wear blue? Or does it mean girls should not be taught to be passive and boys should not be taught to be aggressive? There's a lot of nuance to be had in this question, but for the most part, I'm just going to say neutral and say, yeah, neutral. Gender differences are immutable, and men and women have distinct but complementary social roles to play. I disagree. Men who support female empowerment are inherently weak. No, I don't think so, but I'm also very wary of men who are, male feminists, because I think all women should be. So they're inherently weak? No, they're not. The psychological tricks and manipulations used by pickup artists to get women to sleep with them should be considered a type of hate crime. That's an interesting question. A hate crime. I guess I'll say I'm really a soft agree. If the use of sex robots becomes a normal practice, this will lead to the dehumanization of women. Well, we already know that that's exactly where we are already at. So, yeah. Prostitution should not be legal. Obviously, I am not like a sex work is work supporter, and I don't support prostitution. I believe in the Nordic model because that's where we're at right now. Obviously, it would be ideal if it was completely eradicated and no woman ever had to um, engage in prostitution. Should it be prostitution should not be legal. But if prostitution is made illegal, then women who are trafficked and pimped are suffering the consequences of that illegality, and the traffickers and pimps are not. So, prostitution should not be legal. I'm going to stay neutral because I feel like this question doesn't allow for the nuances that need to be discussed. This question is hard to answer because if you're a Nordic model believer, then there's not enough nuance in this question to answer it. But okay, I guess I will say ultimately I agree it should not be legal, and by legal I kind of mean necessary. I'm going to say a soft agree because, again, I am for the Nordic model and I don't want the illegality of prostitution to make these women suffer more, if that makes sense. Giving women the vote was a mistake. No. The lack of nuanced roles for women in movies is a serious problem for gender equality. Yeah, women are often just as a means to an end for men in movies or a plot device. So, yes. The fat acceptance movement champions a worthwhile cause for women. It deserves more sympathy and support. I think yes, because women, no matter their size, deserve to be respected and treated with kindness and dignity. So ultimately, yes, I am a fat woman. I'm not I'm not really into like the fat acceptance or the body positivity or the whatever. I just don't really care. Like for myself, I don't really care, whatever. But yeah, I think ultimately I'll agree with this statement. There are only two genders. I mean, I feel like this really means sexes. So yes, there are only two sexes. The male gaze's tendency to objectify women against their will is a serious problem for women. Obviously, yes. Some of these are really quick and dry, easy questions. Some are not so much. Men's tendency to find young and slender women more attractive than older and plumper ones has much to do with the media as it has to do with biology. I really hate this question. Older men being predatory towards younger women is not biology, I don't think. So, men's tendency to find young and slender women more attractive than older and plumper women has much to do with the media. It has to do with biology, I guess. Yeah. White men peddle hatred against Muslims as a way to distract women from the fact that they are oppressed. This is an interesting question. I don't know that I think that white men are doing this intentionally. that there's a collective of men sitting around going, yes, we're going to be Islamophobic so that the women are distracted. But I suppose it does serve that purpose, or it does result in that happening. Okay. Women have just as much a sense of honor and duty as men. This subtly between the lines reads to me as kind of like about patriotism. And I'm just going to say neutral. It is hypocritical for Western feminists to bash Western men for the smallest grievances while largely ignoring the absence of fundamental rights for women in the Muslim world. Yeah, but again, okay, so obviously, yes, there are larger. Why are they seeking out just the Muslim world here, though? That's weird. Okay, so yes, certainly people will always say or always argue that Western women, and especially Western white women, have it easy and their problems are solved and nothing to worry about. But I don't think that's true. Obviously, patriarchy exists here, and we are seeing, obviously, with the female erasure and the trans stuff, that we have big fish to fry here too. So no, I do not think it is hypocritical for Western feminists to air their grievances. It is not possible to be sexist against men. Yeah, I agree. The state should enforce quotas mandating that a certain percentage of male-dominated high-end jobs, for example, CEOs, board memberships, professorships, etc., should go to women. I'm going to soft agree with this. I think that women really should be represented in, oh God, I don't know actually. Because when it comes to like CEOs and shit, we're talking about women in high positions of capitalist power, which I don't support. So, I think I'm still just going to say a soft agree because I do think more women representation and leadership is better. Women can be just as happy as men without a stable relationship. Completely, absolutely agree. The idea that men and women should have the same rights is cultural and civilizational suicide. No, it's not. We should have the same rights. Women can do every job in the military just as well as a man. I saw somebody mention this in the chat a while ago, this question. Women can do every job in the military just as well as men. I imagine that they certainly could, but that doesn't mean I think that they should, because I am not a capitalist and I am not an imperialist, and I don't believe in supporting like the industrial military complex. So, how to answer this question? Because yes, I believe women probably could be just as good at any job as men, but I don't think that they should be doing it in general. I'm going to say agree because I do think that women are just as capable. But that doesn't mean I agree with the industrial military complex, because I certainly don't. Okay? Okay. Pornography should not be legal. Absolutely agree. Since men repress women not only in the public sphere, but also in the home, feminism should not uphold the distinction between private and political, but in fact regard the private as political. Yes. This is a good point, Lisa. Let's go back. Lisa says, I don't think women should be as good. I don't think women would be as good at combat. Women don't have male bloodlust. I think you're right. I think I'm going to change my answer to neutral. Okay. Let's go back here now. Yes, the personal is political. How many times have I said that on my channel? Absolutely, definitely agree. Trump's political standpoints and statements are bad news for women in America. Annoying because I'm not American. This is obviously American-centric. If you're not an American, you know how it is to be on the internet. Everything is Americentric on the internet. Trump's political standpoints and statements are bad news for women in America. Yeah. Contemporary Western societies are to a very large degree defined by the patriarchy. Yes. The essences of men and women are so different that it makes no sense to speak of human rights, only male and female rights. I disagree. Sex in blurred lines kinds of situations where the woman does not explicitly consent but does not explicitly say no either is morally on par with rape. Yes. Yes, because there is so much more to a sexual experience than just explicit verbal language. So yeah. Tension up if you're asking me where I'm from. I am from Western Canada. Women are just as rational and logical as men. Yes. Gender equality has largely been achieved in the West. Barring certain ethnic minorities, the struggle for equality is as good as over. Disagree. It is not possible to be feminist and right-wing. Completely agree. The state should enforce quotas mandating that fathers and mothers take a roughly equal amount of parental leave. I'm going to agree with this strongly because it's for the benefit of a child to be raised safely and securely, especially in those early pieces of life, by supportive and stable parents. So yeah, I'm fine with paternity and maternity leave. Whoops. Okay. Women are generally better people than men. Yes, I do agree. If women ran the world, there would be less violence and fewer wars. I agree. Probably yes. Swimwear advertisements featuring excessively thin models should be banned. What is this getting at? Banned for what? Banned for marketing thin bodies? Banned for showing women with a lot of skin for men to get off to? Banned for what? Excessively thin models should be banned for promoting excessive thinness. Should they be banned? I'm going to say neutral. I don't think they should be banned. Some women just are excessively thin. I suppose they deserve to see what a bathing suit is going to look like on them. I don't know. Neutral. Women are just as independent and risk-seeking as men. I wish these two clauses were not in the same question. Women are just as independent as men. Women are capable of being just as independent as men. Risk-seeking, I don't think that women are as risk-seeking as men. So ultimately, I'm going to say a soft agree. Market economies unfairly favor men's abilities over women's. Yes, they do. Contemporary Western society is permeated by rape culture. Yes. Female empowerment necessarily disempowers men. Yes, but that's a good thing. The emancipation of women is one of the crowning glories of Western civilization. I would say yes. And last question. Feminists who don't actually play video games should refrain from criticizing the portrayal of women in video games. What the hell? What a random question. And no, video games, anything is up for critique. What a weird question. Okay, let's finish this up and see where we land. Okay, no surprise here. I always fall between I've taken this exact one before, maybe 1 or 2 years ago. I always fall between radical and Marxist, and here we are again. But cultural feminism tied with Marxism, which is interesting. Okay, so radical feminism. Well, we know what radical feminism is. Anyway, that was interesting. I expected this answer, and I'm happy with this answer. I am a radical feminist. Hurrah! That was fun. You got 90% Marxist. Very nice, Lisa. That was fun. Yeah, I just thought that would be an interesting way to spend a live, taking those quizzes and discussing answers, and yeah, just a little way to spend some time this afternoon. 86% across the last 3. How interesting. Yeah, this is unfortunately true. Whoops. Okay. Well, wait, what? The misogyny of cannibals in every game as well. I know nothing about video games. Like, my experience with video games as a child of the 90s was Super Mario Brothers. And I think I have played Super Mario Brothers and maybe like one other game that's in the same style as that. Like you play a character that's running around. I have never played a violent video game or like a shooter video game. I don't know anything about the video game world, so this is completely out of my depth. Oh, I don't even, yeah, Joan of Arc. If somebody wants to dive into the Army Hammer stuff, please proceed with caution. Trigger warning for violence against women, rape, assault, cannibalism. Yeah, I wouldn't really advise it. So yeah, I took my little quizzes. I don't know if I'll stay on for a while and chat. If people want to chat, I'm happy to do that for a little bit. What are we talking about? I also, yeah, let's chat. As for the chat, while I was taking the quizzes, I had the chat visible, but I really was not paying any attention at all. So I'm sorry for the discussion I was going down. I didn't really know anything. I'll have to go and relook once this is done. I'll have to go reread it all. So if I missed anything, I actually was kind of ignoring the chat, but it wasn't like meant to be rude. I'm sorry, but I'll have to go back and look through things. Chat. Well, let's chat. I don't know. I don't have anything to chat about. And so now I feel a little weird because I'm like, what do we chat about? The Sims was the first video game that women were equal players. Aww. I yeah, I don't have any experience in this. I never played The Sims. Oh, you know what? I did play Roller Coaster Tycoon. But that has really nothing to do with people or feminism. So, but yeah. Pokemon and Mario. Yeah, this is where I'm at as well, Hannah. I played Super Mario Brothers. That's all. Sonic the Hedgehog, maybe. Too funny. But it was just never like video games were never on my radar, or never something I was interested in. But I do know people that were really heavily into it, and even maybe still are. But yeah, it was never something I cared about. I was yeah, not for me as a kid or a teenager. Like my family had when I was growing up, we had like a Nintendo 64, but again, like we only ever played Super Mario. And then we got a Wii, and that was fun for like the Wii Sports games and stuff. But like I've never played any like storyline games or anything. Oh God, scroll back through the chat. There's so much. Uh, Scroll back through the chat. Oh, there's way too much, isn't there? I don't know. Uh, okay, I'm gonna scroll up, but I don't know if I'll find anything that's worth like, not that that's not worth replying to, but like, it's been so long that not it's been so long now, like almost an hour ago. So I feel weird, like, yeah. Um, let's see. Women are more often victims of war than in the middle of the battle, and there are historic and current day exceptions. Some women are willing to be as horrible as the worst of men. Hmm. Romantic love supports capitalism by influencing women to place men's emotional and economic needs first. This is such a good topic. Yeah. Sometimes I think I might want to talk about this kind of thing, but I'm not attracted to men. I am a lesbian. So I don't know. It'd be hard, I think, for me to talk about. Do you believe in romantic love for lesbians? Yes. I mean, I think romantic love can exist for all people. That doesn't mean that it's healthy or good for all people, especially when you're romantically in love with somebody with a significant power imbalance held over your head. So there's that. What am I missing down here now? I'll plug, there's a channel on YouTube called Rad Gamers, I think, and they are radical feminists who play video games. I think they only have one video up. They're very new, but like, yeah. Okay, I'm going back up through the chat. Okay, let's see here. Okay. I'm just going to go back to the main chat now so I can see what's up. It depends on the men, really. Some are okay to women, but the reality is the world is not, especially when multiple demographics, ethnicity, disability, poverty, etc. I mean, yes, some men are okay to some women, but it doesn't mean, like, just because a man is okay to you doesn't mean he's okay to all women. Just because a man is decent to you doesn't mean he's decent to all women. And that's like the biggest thing that I think so many heterosexual women can't seem to grasp when it comes to the men that they love. They talk about their men being loving or kind or the best partner they've ever had, but they don't know how he is to women at his place of work or out in the world, and they see only through the lens of their love for him, and they can't possibly seem to grasp or even potentially admit that just because that man is nice to her, that he could also be horrible. And that's a big problem. Do it, do it. Men shouldn't live in the same houses as women. Women are safer that way, I think. My dad is currently in a halfway house and going to AA meetings several times a day. He won't live with us anymore. Hannah, that has got to be a lot to go through, and I hope that you have supports to deal with this too. I'm glad that your dad is going to recovery meetings, though. I work in the world of addiction and mental health, so I have a pretty good understanding of it all, but I think the most important thing to do when you have a loved one who is dealing with addiction is you have to absolutely make sure you're taking care of yourself and that you have effective boundaries with that person. So I hope you do. Until we can say it is some men, it is all men. Well, yeah, I think it really is all men. Because even when some men, like I have said, are good to your face or to you, that doesn't mean that they're good always and to all women. So yeah, it is all men. Yeah. I mean, I am a human being. I have a father, but my father is the only man I interact with in life. I don't have male friends. I work alone pretty much. So when it comes to like, I mean, obviously I see men at work, but I mean, in my actual like personal life, private life, I choose not to have any men in my life. My father is married to my mother, so I mean, that's unavoidable, but he's the only man that's a part of my personal life. And if he wasn't married to my mother, he wouldn't be. So I think it's really important to, if you're really wanting a sense of peace in your life as a feminist, to remove men from your life. Yeah. Great, great boundary. Great boundary to have. Okay. We're creeping up on an hour. I typically don't really do much more than an hour. And I don't have anything else major to talk about, but I'm happy to keep going if people want to keep going. But I'm also giving y'all an out if you want it out. This connects to the men who are trans attempting to be prioritized as women by women, rather than improve protection across all vulnerable groups. This is a great comment. Yeah, men who are trans attempting to be prioritized as women by women, and they're winning. They're doing it. Women are fighting for these men as if they are extremely vulnerable and deserving of protections. What a weird world we live in. What a weird world we live in. Big gender really supports capitalism. Absolutely, it does. The complete disregard for women, denial of women's reality, and co-opting ethnicity of women for male genitals, gaining access to lesbian spaces while denying being predators. I know, it's really insanely shocking to me. I mean, and it shouldn't be, because I'm a feminist who understands that men just are this way. But it's so insane to me that men who are trans, who are demanding access to women's spaces and whatnot, like, they really can't have any sympathy or understanding for women and why women may not want that. Like, it not only does it seem to not compute for them, they're also even a little bit gleeful in doing it. Yeah. Okay. Well, I probably am going to end this right away. I think an hour is good. Next Sunday, Lisa, Michelle, and I probably will be streaming together. We seem to be doing good with that every other Sunday. We've done 3 so far. The last one was particularly really enjoyable for me, and I think I can speak for Lisa too and say that it was great for her. So yeah, next Sunday, same time. Usually we do 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that I think is 8 p.m. Greenwich Meridian Time. Anyway, we will, Lisa and I will, we need to nail down a topic. Here's an opportunity. If anyone has a suggestion for a topic for next Sunday's stream, something to discuss, something you think needs more attention when it comes to feminism, please feel free to put it in the chat or in the comments of this video. Because yeah, Lisa and I are going to do another stream, and we like to just chat and have a topic. And yeah, so catch Lisa and I next Sunday. That would be lovely. And okay, I think we'll wrap it up. Have a great Sunday, everybody, and I hope your week coming up is smooth and great. Okay, bye.